Hello, students. Mr. McKittrick here. If you missed class or you're struggling on making the graphs in Google Sheets and insert them in the Google Docs, I'm going to walk you through it for the data graph on our first lab, distance from the mutation zone. So after you open up your two documents, your spreadsheet and your Google Doc, you can enter your data. So for our distance right here, we are going to use the numbers right here. So I'm going to put in 50, 25, 12, 6, 3, 2, and 1. At any point, pause this video to enter your numbers. And our mutation calculation days will be all the numbers that we calculated last week in class. So they will fill to here. Now, just for the beta graph, that's the only thing that we're going to need right now. So then once you have it all made, like I said, at any point, pause the video to help yourself out. Now, once you have it all made, you're going to highlight all of the data. So you're going to click and slide until it all turns blue, and you're going to look for a couple things. You're going to look for this insert chart button. You might need to click on the up or down arrow over on the side. And if you can't find it here, it's also at the top, insert, and then you could put chart this way as well. Either way will work just fine. Couple things for you to see. It's going to be a scatter chart. And if you highlighted everything, it should set up the information for you. You can see we have our title here. If you double click or go to customize, title is here. If the title did not appear, you can click on the customize chart title and enter it. The y-axis, which is mutation calculation days, that's in the vertical axis under chart and axis title. And the distance in centimeters, that's the horizontal axis title. So any of these things, remember, just pause the video when I'm there and you can be able to adjust those. Now, the graph looks good, but there's not a lot of lines or grid lines. So the one thing that we're going to want to change is we're going to want to change our two axes. Right? So the first one is our distance. So I'm clicking on the numbers, and you can see it brings me right to horizontal axis. All right, a couple things I want to do. Our lowest number was 1, and our highest number was 50. So what I want to put in is 0 and 50 for the minimum and maximum values, and then hit enter. All right, that's going to lock in our numbers so that we don't have to worry about changing it. So 0 and 50. Then we're going to scroll down to the bottom, and we're going to find this one that says grid lines and ticks. We are going to click on it. You're going to have to scroll down a little bit further, and we're going to see our spacing. All right. Each one of these only goes by 10. I would like them to have more numbers, so you could count by whatever number you would like. I think if you could do step, it'll put how many lines in, or you could put count, and that'll tell you how many numbers you're going to count up on. I'm going to put a 5 and just see what it looks like. Well, that didn't work out too well. So I'm going to try steps. Oh, actually steps, sorry, 5 was the other number. Steps is how much is going to go up by. And now you can see it goes up by 5. And that gives me a little bit easier chance of reading the numbers. So I like that. And now with the grid lines, you kind of have to play around with it until you get a graph that you're comfortable with. One more step and we'll be ready to copy and paste. So if we click here on the vertical axis, we can see our numbers are between 0 and 1,000. So I'm going to put 0 as my minimum value and 1,000 for my maximum value, just so they don't change. And again, I'm going to play around with those grid lines. All right. Now, it seemed from the last time that the steps tell us how many that we have. So I'll put some different numbers in and see what it looks like. I can start with 50. And I actually like that one. It gives us a lot of numbers. So I think for the vertical axis, for our graphs, which are all the same, step 50 in the grid lines. Remember, pause this at any point. And our graph is looking good. All right. Now, the next part is copying and pasting it into our Google Doc, right? So what you want to do is you might want to click off of it. You want to make sure that there's a blue box around the graph. Hit Control-C, and that blue box disappears. All right, now we're going to go back to our lab, and we're going to scroll down to the graphs. All All right, we're going to find the beta graph and we're going to click. Now here's an important part. You're going to go up to insert. You have to do this part. Insert, drawing, new. And then when this opens up in the checkerboard pattern, you're going to hit Control V and link the spreadsheet. All right, and should look like this. All right, now here is our graph. And if you click Save and Close, it'll now be in our lab. If you want to open it up again, double click. Next thing we want to do is we want to draw a best fit line. So go down to this arrow right here at the top and go to line. And we're going to try to draw a line through 0, 0. Actually, try to draw the line through 0, 0. It should have this little plus sign. And we're going to try to get it through as many points as possible with an equal number of points below and above the line. For mine, I think about right there looks pretty good. It looks like I have about 2 points over to the left, and I got 1 point way over here to the right. So it's a pretty good average. Now, some other things that we could do with the line. We could click on line weight, make it thicker, and we could click on color and change the color. All right, I'm going to make it a red line. Really up to you. If you hit save and close, it'll be there. Now, one more thing it says to do in our lab, it says to draw a horizontal line at the distance that you estimated it would take 365 days to reach a mutation zone. Use a text box to label each side of the line mutation zone or safe zone. So I'm going to double click on my graph again, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line, the line across, at 365. All right, here's 350, here's 400. I'm going to draw a line a little bit above it. And I'm going to make it thicker. And I'm going to make this one black. All right, so remember, if we have safe numbers for safety, so we have no risk of mutation, that's going to be above the line, numbers higher than 365. So I'm going to write safe zone above the line. So anywhere above this line, this black line, anything over on this part is the safe zone, which means anything below the black line on the line, that red data line, is going to be the mutation. So you write both of those in. And that will complete our graph, inserting it, and the annotations for the beta graph. What you'll do now is you'll repeat using the gamma radiation. All right, hope you found this helpful. Have a great day.